Good afternoon and welcome. And thank you, Stephanie, my partner, for being here, my partner in crime. We're becoming a little celebrity team on the island, you know.
We
it's
are.
Just you and I.
I can't wait to see our videos each week. It's exciting.
I mean, between saving birds and giving reports and updates. And I will tell you, it is difficult to give you updates because it is a daily change of everything from travel restrictions to openings to closings, with reports about the new viruses and new infections and everyday changes. But I do want to start by talking about security because I realize that Dan's going to give a report very briefly about hurricane preparedness. But I do want to, sometimes you want to thank people for doing things that we don't even know are being done. So I'm going to put on my commissioner hat for a moment and just talk to you a little about, I know it's over now so we can discuss it. And it was fairly confidential at the time with the rioting going on. And we were notified by various security agencies in the South Florida area and the government that Aventura was being targeted for riots. And unfortunately, some of the people that were rioting were not peaceful demonstrators, but these were people that were professionals that were coming in from out of state. And we had to make special precautions to take care of this. And we contacted Dan immediately. We got him together with our police department over at Aventura, and based on that, we had 7 different agencies from around the state work with us in conjunction with the city itself. One of the malls obviously was the Aventura Mall that was targeted. We were also targeted over here across the street from Moe's at the Promenade shops, and also the Loman's Plaza shops. And of course, this is in our back door. I mean, it's right next door to us where these riots were going, and we were informed that obviously they drift off and they go where they want to go. So what we did is we notified Dan, and unbeknownst to other than a very few people, the city, the state, and myself, we were able to make sure that the island was additionally fortified with undercover police. Dan took care of making sure that our whole island was safe. He had extra duty police all over the island, including the entry to stop anything from coming in. And we were very fortunate because they did catch a few people in the mall getting ready to start. They drove into the parking garage and they saw about 150 various police officers, riot squad people, police dogs, etc. And they were arrested very quietly, taken out. But these were people with out-of-state license plates. The reason I'm telling you this is Dan is sort of like the unsung hero. We don't realize what he does to keep this island safe on an ongoing basis. But this is just one of those examples that while we're sleeping, Dan is out there 24/7 with his staff and his amazing team of guys to keep us safe. And we went through this whole thing, never knew anything was going on, but yet every inch of this island was fortified with various different types of security. So my hat's off to Dan, and I really owe him a gratitude of thanks, as we all do. And now Dan is going to give you an update on, unfortunately, this time of the year where we have to get ready for hurricanes.
Atlantic hurricane season is here. Can you believe it? It runs from June 1st through November 30th. And what does the POA do to get ready for hurricane season? Dan, you're our expert.
Thank you, Stephanie. We've already started that process to begin with. We're pruning our trees, clearing out old dead branches. That process actually starts in the spring. In other words, in order to keep a lot of falling debris from coming down into the roadways should a hurricane strike us. If you haven't seen the big red trucks on the island already, we're making sure that all of our storm drains are cleaned out as well too, because we want to protect our roads from flooding at all costs. So that's a big one as well.
And what are forecasters saying about this year?
Well, the media has been portraying this as that it could be a very busy year, and so far it seems like it's come to fruition. We've had 3 named storms already, and today is June 11th, and we already have another low pressure system just south in the Caribbean right now, so we're keeping a close eye on that one as well too, like we always do.
And what should residents be thinking about right now? We're just getting over COVID, now we're in hurricane season.
Well, I would always ask the residents that I have in the past is they do need to be prepared. For those residents that are going to be staying with us during storm season, check your supplies, check your storm shutters. I imagine a lot of the residents may have had a dip into their supplies during this unfortunate COVID process and so forth. But if you're not going to be staying on the island during the season, or if you're planning on going away for any given time during the summer months, I'm going to ask that you also prepare and help us by clearing your patio decks. You know, the buildings, when we're being threatened with a storm, have to divert a lot of manpower, a lot of resources to checking patio decks, and they could use that time better spent securing their own buildings. So that makes a huge difference for the building managers and the team as well.
And right now, how has your security team been dealing with the pandemic?
They've been amazing. I can't be more proud of the security staff. You know, Williams Island employs almost 100 officers, believe it or not. And be whatever challenge it has been in the past, hurricanes and now the pandemic, our team has been to work. They come every day. They come with a positive attitude. They're here for the residents. I've been blessed to have one of the greatest security teams I've ever been able to work with ever. So please, when you see your officers, thank them, because they were here during a lot of uncertain times.
Yeah. Well, I want to go over just some of the marketing items that we help Dan with communicate the hurricane message to the island. One of the things that we have is on the front page of the Williams Island website. It's where we have the COVID messages you've been looking at. We also have all of the hurricane information. For example, what is the difference between a hurricane watch and a hurricane warning? We also list, for example, everyone should have gotten in their mail rooms the hurricane guide. It is from Miami-Dade County. We also have a link to the PDF version on the website. It is in English, Spanish, and Creole. So there's a lot of great information, and a lot of things have changed this year. You know, we're living a life in a new normal post-pandemic. So take a look at the hurricane guides and see what we have for the information. We also have some other items on there. We have a link to the county, Miami-Dade County's website. We have a link to the City of Aventura's website. We have how to prepare your own family's hurricane kit, what shopping items you need, your checklist of supplies, canned goods, can opener, and things of that nature. Also important resource phone numbers. If you look at the last page there's who do you contact? 911, City of Aventura, Miami-Dade Police, FPL, Atlantic Broadband, FEMA, Miami-Dade Public Schools. Also 311 is a great resource here in Miami-Dade County. They can give information during a storm. 211 is Family Social Services. And then we also have the Attorney General's Office for price gouging complaints. So we have all that information there. So take a look at our hurricane page. And thank you, Dan, for always being so on top of it.
If I can, Stephanie, I'd also like to add that for our residents, I would strongly also encourage you, if you haven't received it already, to make sure you get a copy of your building's hurricane plan. So you know what to expect should you choose to stay, know what services may or may not be available during those times. And thank you, Stephanie.